Greetings, people of Earth. Oh, that's a bit more nerdy than I was anticipating. Greetings. Hello. Welcome on this spooktacular night. You are more than welcome, Beef. You got to remember to take those supplements regularly. Terrible things happen if you don't. Hello. Welcome. Hi. I am TM Dan. And this is Explorers of Elsewhere live on Halloween night. How are we all doing? Thank you, Beef. Yes, we have a menagerie of fantastic costumes. We have, it really puts things into perspective when people dress up as their sort of like RPG characters as to how weird TTRPG character groups are. But yes, hello. Hi everyone. How are we all doing? Are we all good? Amazing. Amazing. Well, first things first, hello Livvy and hello Dan. Welcome back. Dressed up as a beautiful Rayri and a beautiful Vanier. Looking very good. Welcome back, Nate. Hi. Is audio not coming up through for you? Okay. It's not. Okay. Audio. Hold! The ghouls have gotten into the bits and bobs. You have so many questions. Beef, feel free to ask away while I click frantically. Discord. I think it's that one. Right, is that working? Can I get some quacks in chat?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
I think we're good. I think we're good. Can we hear the quacks? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, we are. This wouldn't be an Explorers of Elsewhere stream without some audio technical difficulties. But yes, hello Nate. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Yes, you are more than welcome. Dressed head to toe as the fine gent Azakar himself. It's good to see it. It's good to see it. And also, welcome, Julia. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You are a new face on the Thursday live streams.
Yes.
Welcome.
I've done this before.
Are you ready to dagger some hearts?
Is that what we're doing? Oh
Yes.
God. Okay. I've never daggered a heart before, so
No.
I might get confused, but I'm going to try my best.
Well, there's a special rule tonight that because it's Halloween, all dice rolls are rolled with fear. But don't let that don't let that stop you. It's going to be great.
That doesn't sound right.
So, without further ado, we gathered here tonight. We have a one-shot. We're going to smash through a whole story in one evening. It's going to be a high-octane ride. Who would like to jump into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
Video.
All across the unknown world, rediscovery pushes ever onwards to find the lands and people lost. All thanks to our brave explorers.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Vanya the Wolfkin Warrior.
Hey, I'm Livvy. I'm going to be playing Rayri, the Sprite Ranger.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Lucretia, a Laravar wizard.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Azakar, a Majani Seraph.
And my name is DM Dan. I'll be the GM in these adventures. The further we go, the more we learn of these magical tales from elsewhere.
Welcome, everyone. As we find 4 explorers stepping through a portal to perhaps a land that is unknown to them each in turn. Rayri and Vanier, this mission, this job that you've picked up, is taking place perhaps a few weeks after the events of the Ulick Mansion murder. There was quite a commotion in the aftermath of it, but you know, the mages, so Meridius has told you that the funeral for Archmage Ulick was one filled with gravitas and a lot of reverence for a man of such powerful stature. But as you step through, accompanied by a familiar face and an unfamiliar face, perhaps, between the four of you, tell me what it was that drew you to this particular mission. The job posting was quite, well, interestingly, the first, in large letters across the top of the notice, was the word urgent. Explorers needed in Cayley Point. And looking through the brief kind of description of a relatively new sign, Cayley Point is, you discover, is a newly established expedition town. And whilst the town is fledging and beginning to kind of get running properly, there is worrying news coming from the next kind of outpost town to Cayley Point, and explorers have been requested with urgency to help with a rather curious magical phenomena. But what is about it that you... the sign doesn't say much else, but what is it that drew you to this? Let's start with Vanya.
The fact that after the events of last time, Vanya was getting bored and was looking for something exciting to happen again, and seeing probably with Ray had come across this posting, it's like, this is perfect, we got something to do. And is like absolutely buzzing to get out and explore again, or get into like the nitty-gritty of something. Hopefully that's not a pansy party, and more like a, ooh, are we going to fight something mysterious? What are we gonna find?
Okay. Yeah, Rayri, why were you just tagging along, or was there something that perhaps have you visited Cayley Point in the past?
I don't imagine Riri would have visited Cayley Point, but I think townships are always an interest to her, as she's lost her own town during the war. So always potentially looking for new settlements in the hope of finding somewhere that she might like.
Okay.
She's like, mysterious, possibly dangerous, brilliant. So good. Settle down.
Azakar, what prompted you to rejoin your former companions on this particular job? Was it deliberate, or was it by accident that you found yourselves working with familiar faces again?
I like to think it's by accident. I think after the last time you saw Azakar, he spent quite a while sort of meditating and finding himself in quiet contemplation, and is now ready to sort of get back out there and start helping again. And I think he was drawn to the fact that this one said urgent. But I think I like to think that he actually saw the note was sort of thinking about it. Then he turned around to see Vanya going, "Oh yeah, let's do it." And he just kind of went, "Oh God."
Also, you left us without saying a word, and as soon as we saw you, I am sure their words were had of, "Where did you go after the party? I tried to look around for you, and you were not there. I couldn't smell you. Where did you go? You didn't even say goodbye."
Azakal will look down quite sort of dejected, and he will just kind of go, I do apologize. I was it was a difficult time for me, and I do apologize for leaving you. If you are interested in this job, perhaps we can join forces again.
Really?
Well,
You come with us?
we fought very well last time. Why not again?
Yeah. Welcome back, friend. And yeah, he'll give you the hand clasp.
In which case, as this sort of like warrior's handshake happens, there is a fourth near the sign. Julia, paint us a picture of who's stood off to the side. And was she kind of with Azakar before this moment, or did she just happen to be in the right place, right time?
So there is a Lorivar lady standing there, probably kind of lower part of middle-aged looking. She's got long brown hair tied back. She's wearing sort of blue, purple type wizardly robes, and she has a staff and a hat on, but quite practical garb, good for adventuring and exploring. And a big smile on her face. Hello there! I'm Lucretia. Are you going on the adventure? The explorer's mission?
Yeah. Are you?
Wonderful! Oh, I thought I might. Yes, if that's all right, if I could come with you. I love learning about new things. I just can't get enough. And I saw it had said it was about something about magic. Well, you may see, I know quite a lot about magic. So I'm very excited indeed. You all going? You all going, are you? Are you going? Are you going? Are you going?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Brilliant.
I think there's a moment of this shock interaction where, you know, when you pass someone and you smell like a really nice perfume or something, when you walk past someone you're like, oh, that smells really nice. Well, Vanya's got a strong sense of smell. And you probably like smell someone on you, and he kind of like stuns him, and like he's like, you know, that's someone who's not used to dealing with people
I've had a bath.
who smell really nice. And it's like that moment of like slightly brushing, like, yeah, you could come with us, no problem.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yes.
May I ask what you bring to this mission?
I know an awful lot about magic and the mysterious. I have a particular interest in the natural world. So I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity to learn something new and hopefully help out in any way I can, really.
Do you magic? You do magic?
Yes. Yeah, and she sort of waves the staff vaguely in the air. Says, magic, you see?
Good.
She makes a little flurry of sparks in the air.
We've lacked in magic.
Things.
I mean, of course, a few of us can do some things, and I've seen Azakar in the past do some
Ooh.
divine.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Slaying, but
that sounds amazing.
But it's handy to have someone with knowledge.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I did come top of my class 3 years in a row at my wizarding university. I won't go on about it, though. Nobody wants to hear about that. But yes, really lovely to see you all. You all look very strong indeed. That's what I tend to lack, is the brawn. Yes, you in particular there. I'm Lucretia, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Vanya.
Lovely. Wonderful to meet you, Vanya.
Ray. Then he just popped on the side.
Yeah, Lucretia, behind Rayri, almost as tall as the Ignan sprite, is what appears to be a chihuahua-like dog. That is her size. It's a good 3.5, 4 foot tall, with heterochroma coloured eyes. One orange, one blue? Maybe? Yes. Okay.
Goodness me, what a fine beast.
Vin.
Hello, Vin. Would you like to see my beast? And she pulls out... she pulls out a little creature.
It's going to be one of those Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
There's a little kind of earth elemental creature that can change its form, and it currently looks like a little ghost because it's Halloween. His name's Pebble.
I think he's going to sniff them all over.
Don't, not for eating. For friend. No.
So, with these, oh, sorry, there's one more who hasn't said his name. Sorry.
Yes.
Azakar.
Hello.
Pleasure.
Huh?
He's like the strong, silent type.
Are you good at magic, Azakar? I don't like to make assumptions, but I've met quite a few Majani in my time who know their way around a codex.
I have divine
Ooh.
possession. I am a devote to Aya, and she grants me what I need.
The Great Mother will provide.
Indeed.
So,
Very good.
as the four of you, as this kind of four-way conversation lingers in your minds, you feel that kind of lurching sensation in your gut as you instantly kind of transport from one location in Avamore to the portal in Cayley Point. And whereas behind you was the kind of bustling metropolis of what is effectively the capital city of the New World, you suddenly find yourselves atop a hill of some sort, in the shadow of a large watchtower. And as you look around, you immediately feel a chill in the air. There are kind of dark, ominous clouds rolling overhead. It seems... well, it's difficult to tell exactly what time it is because it is as dark as it is. But you... I mean, yeah, you don't know if it's morning, noon, evening. You certainly know it doesn't seem like it's night. That is for sure. But as you kind of look around, the four of you, you see that around the base of this hill that this watchtower is built on, there are a number of buildings that have recently been constructed, presumably for the initial stages of the expedition town having been completed. And as you kind of take a moment to realign and kind of recalibrate yourselves, reorientate yourselves, from the watchtower in quite a kind of a warm-looking furred coat, walks a rather plump, jolly-looking Lorvar woman. Her cheeks are flushed red. You're not sure, and it gives her this kind of like happy, jovial look that stands somewhat in contrast to the surroundings. And beside her is a rather diminutive Oran sprite woman, with a kind of a light pastel-y jade green hued skin, and wearing what appears to be robes that stand apart from this plumper Lorivar woman. But the Lorivar woman looks to you and, oh, hello, you must be the explorers that we've asked for. Thank you for, you are the explorers that we asked for, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Marvellous, you've come at just the right time. We were worried that no one was coming to aid us, but we are truly appreciative for your prompt arrival. Beg my pardon. My name is Mayor Breen Tanner. I look after the town of Cayley Point. Welcome. She asks like your names in turn, and as you respond, she then gestures to the sprite next to her. This is Eldra Macewind. She's one of our finest. She's a bit of a hero around these parts, actually. Yes, she thought that it would be wise if she was here to greet you as well. And Eldra, this little Oran sprite, just kind of gives you a nod. And as Mayor Tanner has just said, thank you for coming at such short notice. We find ourselves with a rather curious but desperate problem. Mayor Breen. Please, this isn't the space to speak about it. Please follow me down. Let's head to the inn. We can grab some warmth, grab some food and drink while we explain to you what aid we need. And in a very sort of like a busybody kind of way, the mayor just kind of brushes you up, like ushers you on down the hill. Like there's a path that leads down the northern edge of the hill that kind of mixes in with the path that goes all the way around the base of the hill that the town is kind of built around. Before long, you find yourself at the Weary Wanderer, which is a rather homely looking tavern inn. As you sit down and drinks, courtesy of the mayor, are brought over to you, you can see that Azakar, you note that the barkeep, who's kind of watching you all as you come in, is a very heavy-browed Majani man with really kind of bushy, thick eyebrows. And you note that he just kind of like watches the other three enter, and then when he spies you, he kind of gives you a solemn, closed-eyed nod. And yeah. As you sit down, the mayor says, "So, I must first of all apologise for the somewhat brief explanation on the job advert that we posted to Avonmore. We didn't want to, really kind of exemplify the scale of the dire straits that we're in, lest we kind of scared off potential explorers. But I mean, you all look capable. I'm sure you'll be all right. But we're worried for the safety of the town. You see, we haven't been established for all that long, only perhaps a few months. But links back to Avonmore have meant that we've been able to build Cayley Point up from the ground quite quickly. As such, we were also able to send out additional expeditions to local areas to set up outpost towns and the like, you understand. There was one outpost town we set up, outpost called 10th Bridge, that was set up to the east. But we've kind of lost contact with them. And she kind of looks to you, and as she kind of lets that settle in for a moment, and you notice that she's looking to the four of you as if she's kind of expecting some sort of reaction, when the innkeeper walks over and...
I think you haven't quite explained everything. You haven't explained the reason why you have lost contact with 10th Bridge, Mayor Breen.
And she... Oh, of course, and as she stutters and stumbles, the innkeeper says...
10th Bridge, it is approximately 3 miles east of here. About a week ago, our guards posted in the watchtower noticed that
there was a strange... and he mutters something in a native language for a moment as he's trying to find a word, but he eventually says,
ship, a galleon, in the sky, sailing the clouds. Except, it appeared quite some distance away. The watchtower gives us a good vantage, and we were able to spy it. But as we monitored it that night, it just stayed in one spot. The next night, we noticed it had reappeared, but it had moved. And the night after that, it had moved again. And that's when we realized that it was moving bit by bit towards the town of 10th Bridge. We've not heard from 10th Bridge in about 3 days. But since we sent a scout.
Oh, that was Eldra. That was Eldra, says the mayor.
We sent a scout, and we've noticed that everyone in 10th Bridge is missing. But the ship is once again appearing in the skies. And this time it's heading towards us. It appears to be moving approximately a mile a night. We lost contact with 10th Bridge 3 nights ago. And it is 3 miles away.
You're here tonight.
The mayor clenches her teeth and... Well, yes.
How many people were at this tent bridge?
Well, it was just an outpost of sorts. So no more than 40 or 50, but that is obviously still a significant number of people to go missing. And
quite a lot of people to go missing.
Kaylee Point.
We do like 2, maybe. I think we did 5 once missing in a crystal, but we didn't. Like that was already quite a lot. 40's pretty decent, isn't it?
Eldra looked all over and found no. It was just as if they'd all vanished. But Kaylee Point, we home close to 400 now. So we're terrified of what will happen tonight. So our request of you is you have all of the supplies all of our supplies at your disposal. We were hoping that you could help stage a defence of some sort to fend off this ship.
Yeah, I see why you didn't put all this in the note.
Yes.
Quite a lot, isn't it?
So, you want 4 of us against a ship that took 40 to 50 people.
Well, yes, but I mean you're explorers, so you're basically heroes, aren't you? So between the four of you will be worth much more than whatever militia. Well, obviously our militia is at your command, but between the four of you,
If I can get on that ship, I can punch it out of the sky.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
Puts her hand
Anyway.
on Vanya's knee. Maybe, love, maybe. Well, that's plan B. Punching out the sky.
What's plan A?
Not punching it out of the sky.
So yes, we don't have all that long. We only have perhaps a number of hours. The ship tends to appear around midnight, so we will have approximately 12 hours to prepare. As I say, anything that we can help supply you with is at your disposal. Although our means are somewhat meagre, we have a blacksmith, a stonemason. We do have a priestess of Gogolden over at the chapel, and well, I mean, Eldra Maceman, she's well, as I say, she's a bit of a hero, so I'm sure she'll be able to help you as well.
Azakar,
Hmm.
during your time with the war, are you familiar with the giant bolty shooty things? What they called? The giant bolty shooty things that you shoot big things out the sky.
The crossbow, massive.
Yeah, like a giant crossbow.
Not personally, but yes.
Oh. Lucretia, what about you? Do you know a big giant crossbow that shoots big things out of the sky?
Do you mean a ballista?
Yeah, that.
Ah.
Could we make a bunch of them and shoot it out the sky? Or at least shoot me up the sky so I can punch it out the sky.
What if these 40 missing people are on the ship?
Oh.
They might be like, what's in there? Oh, we're just going to shoot them out the sky. Well, I guess it's like, kill 40, save 400, give or take.
Sorry,
That's
can
some
I
advanced moral philosophy there, Riri.
can I just say, Dan, with your face paint on, whenever you furrow your brow, it exaggerates it beautifully.
Oh, goodness me.
Well, we have ready supplies of lumber and stone, but unless any of you happen to be, wartime artillery engineers, I'm not entirely sure we'd be able to build a ballista in time. But
Well, luckily, I have an experience in ballista builder.
But I will. Well, I will leave you to consider your plans. As I say, I must stress we don't have very much time. But
Do
if
you
there's
even have a place for your townspeople to evacuate to?
well,
Basement, shelter,
A cave?
away from this town.
well, I mean, we could flee the town, but then we might just be run down by this ship. It flies on the clouds. You understand?
Big is it?
She starts sort of like gesturing with her hands, and then the innkeeper, like the Bajani innkeeper, just, it's the size of a boat,
What?
the size of a ship.
A boat. Well, there's like little boats, and then there's like a big ship.
Like a galleon.
Oh, yeah, it's quite big, isn't it?
You see, you keep calling it a ship and a galleon, but I've heard tell that it's possible to build these sort of airships. I mean, they're mainly theoretical, but maybe somebody pulled it off. Is that what we're talking about? Like an airship? Some
It's a
kind of
ship in the air.
invasion? Some kind of invading force, perhaps?
The two of them shrug. Perhaps, says the mayor.
I mean, Does it look like it's made for battle?
Well, it's curious. Because it just appears in the night sky. It just appears in the night sky and then just hovers in place until it disappears a few hours later, and then the next night it reappears a mile away from where we last saw it until it appeared over 10th Bridge, and well,
We all know how that went.
well, yes.
Well, we don't. That's the problem.
I suppose not.
Like some kind of unidentified flying ship.
Ship.
Interesting.
So the mayor, the mayor goes to excuse herself. She tells you that if you have any questions, you can find her in her residence. Yes, you have free run of the town, and you have her explicit authority to kind of requisition anything that you need.
Is the bar tab paid for? Is that part of the
Yes.
requisition?
Yes, of course.
Right, drinks all round, guys.
Sounds a great idea.
I would advise that we keep our wits with
Spirits up.
us.
Yeah.
No.
I think better after a pint.
So-
No.
So, yes. What is between the four of you? What is your what plans have you got? What as it currently stands? Obviously, the information you've got is that it's this kind of mysterious floating ship that appears in the night sky. It relocates about a mile each night, and it is now en route to Cayley Point.
Cool.
How far? What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
So you've got, give or take, 12 hours.
It's 3 miles to. Is it worth just going to the place where they all disappeared? Was it 3 miles away? That won't take us long, will it?
You could, if
Go
you
there,
want,
see what's there. See if there's any stuff,
If you-
bodies.
if you wanted to head to 10th Bridge, investigate and come back, we could call that 2 hours of your 10, of your 12, sorry.
I think it would take that.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, it might be just. We might find the answer. It might just be a load of viscera.
So, are all four of you heading to 10th Bridge?
Yeah, can we convince Eldra to come with us because she's seen it before?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you track down the little Oran sprite, and she's more than happy to go with you. She, as she prepares herself, you notice that she's equipped herself with a spear that she seems to hold with a lot of familiarity and confidence. But between the four of you, as you kind of regard her, as she stands, she strikes this sort of almost accidental heroic pose, but her hair just seems to flutter as if it's gently blowing in the wind, even though there is no breeze to speak of. She looks at you and if you'll follow me to 10th Bridge, it's this way.
As
You want to
we're
hop on? I say as I'm mounted Vinny. It's a long walk. You can take both of us.
Eldra kind of glances from side to side and, "Oh, go on then," she says, and then climbs on the back of the dire chihuahua.
As we're all setting off, I think Lucretia's going to say, "Come along then, chaps. Time for a jolly adventure." And everybody gets a hope.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
from my youthful spirit trait.
Okay.
That's pretty
Grab us a hope. What about this journey ahead?
Yes.
One hope for everyone. Clicking all the buttons. Right, everyone's up to 3 hope. Very
Yay.
good. Very good, very good. That does sound OP, doesn't it, Beef? Cool. So, a relatively short time later, the path to 10th Bridge is relatively easy going. So you're able to get there within sort of like 35-40 minutes. And 10th Bridge, for all intents and purposes, is like a small wooden kind of watchtower of sorts, with a couple of buildings kind of scattered round. You can see that there are the beginnings of what would look like crop fields. So perhaps they were beginning to build the extension to Cayley Point. But yeah, as you arrive, like the gloom overhead feels a bit more kind of pervasive. It clings to you a bit more. And something you notice as you arrive is the silence. There is no life in 10th Bridge.
Not even birds.
No.
Oh, okay.
It is utterly silent.
Whoa.
I will immediately look for footprints in terms of to try and gauge if there seemed to be more foot traffic than the general idea we were given for the population of this town. So the idea I'm going for is if, for example, these this boat arrived, whether they dropped a bunch of people that then terrorized the town in some way. So I'm trying to see if there's any signs of like emphasized.
Sure.
Like a battle or a war.
Yeah.
Or a trampling.
Any signs? Yeah.
Um,
Or is it a case that there is enough for just the population and it just disappeared?
Sure. Roll me an instinct. That sounds like.
Yep, I am going to.
And just as a little PSA for the audience, in this episode and future episodes, we are going to be sort of using the undocumented changes to the 1.5 rule set that we use in the last Critical Role playtest. So we've got changes to armor. We're also trying the game's play style. We're making it we're trying something new, but we'll see how that pans out. But yes, Dan, by all means, please roll me an instinct.
I'm going to use my heightened senses to try and catch any scents, to try and perceive all around me, to hear anything, etc, etc.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend a hope to bring it down to 2, to give myself a +2 onto my already +2 instinct roll, so I get +4 total for this roll. Here we go. I rolled 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 with fear.
Ooh.
22 with fear. You... Okay. Just as an aside, what's everyone else doing while Vanier does his initial scout?
I kind of pop off Vinny. I've assumed the little sprite hops off with me, and kind of just having a little wander around, just kind of looking at, just figuring out why, like, just a bit in awe that it's just so quiet and bizarre. And just seeing if there's any things, bits around, food, items, livable, just an outpost. Like,
Azakar?
Is the watchtower, is it like a proper building itself? Or is it just like just a tall structure that you can watch from?
So it's it's constructed from wood as opposed to the stone structure in the center of Cayley Point. It is like definitively early Age of Empires level.
Right.
But yes, it looks. I mean, it looks relatively well constructed, and yeah, like it looks intact. It doesn't look like it's been attacked. But yeah, that kind of primarily dominates this little outpost. Lucretia, what's she doing while Vanier's rolling?
I think her first thing will be to look around and see if there's any signs of magical devastation, intervention. Like, could it be that there was a magical attack upon this place? Are there any sort of vestiges, leftover signs of a big magical event having taken place that might be responsible for the lifeless?
I mean, that sounds a bit like... I'm gonna... roll me a knowledge check.
Sure.
In so much as it's a spell cast roll.
So I'm going to roll my 2d12
Yeah.
and add 3 to it.
Yeah.
So it's 24 with hope.
Okay, so
Gain a hope.
you go up to 4 hope.
Thanks.
And Vanier rolled with fear, so I go up to 5 fear. So let me just do that. Okay, cool.
Uh-oh.
Between Azakar and Raimi, did either of the two of you want to do any rolls?
I was going to say, because I'm looking more for like a structured building that it looked like people would have been in. So
Sure.
sort of like the biggest building that looked like it would have a good majority of people
Okay.
in there.
I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be the watchtower. It certainly looks the most defensible of the buildings. And sorry, Ravi, was there anything you were sort of like rolling, or were you just...
I'll roll. I just want to see what it looks like potentially that somebody has, like, if there's any sign of life lived in, like, you know, has there been a fire around at some point? Has there been things left, like they've just kind of disappeared? Like, are there half-eaten sandwiches? I don't know, you know, like they just...
It's like the Marie Celeste, where everyone just disappeared in the middle of their dinner type
Exactly,
thing.
in the middle of their dinner.
I mean, would you perhaps be tag teaming with Vanier to...
I'm happy to, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
I'm kind of investigating to see if, yeah, has there been a fight? Has there been a struggle? Has there been...
In which case, because let's assume that Lucretia is kind of tagging along with Azakar. We'll do Lucretia's bit first. As you roll a honkingly high roll, you notice that this chill that's in the air, it's something that you picked up on from the moment you arrived, because it is unnatural. And as you take a moment and kind of attune to the ambient manner in the air around you, you realize that a magical force lingers here. It permeates the air, and off the back of that higher roll, you also know it thrums with necromancy.
Okay.
And Vanier and Rayri, as you sort of like look around, Vanier, you notice that there are in fact a number of unusual footprints kind of scattered around that, you know, only your trained eye was able to pick up. But they're different to the clearly booted footprints that you can see, and looking around, there seems to have been some sort of kind of scuffle. But these other footprints, they look bony. And as you think that, just a little way over Azakar, as you kind of enter into the watchtower, you hear a and with a clatter, this skeletal figure lurches out towards you, clutching what appears to be a rusted, curved sword. And Lucretia, Rayri, and Vanier, you also notice like 3 more of these kind of skeletal warriors staggering out from like various corners of the outpost. And as these skeletons kind of like begin moving towards you, let's not roll initiative because the action tracker is not a thing. Let's get fruity. So tell you what, let's start with Azakar. So bear in mind we are using the new rules, which means there is no action tracker. Instead, if you miss or roll with fear, then I get to activate a token, like a monster, and I can spend fear to activate additional monsters if I so wish. But Azakar, the skeleton, as you open the door, the skeleton is immediately on you, but what do you do? Because you're much faster than it.
Smash it.
Yeah. Ooh, I get to battle again in Daggerheart. I gotta remind myself what the hell to do. Yeah, I think Azakar is gonna bring up his scimitar and he is gonna go in for an attack. Seeing that it's sort of clanking up while it's trying to maneuver itself up, he's just gonna go for it while he can.
Okay. In which case, yeah, roll to hit.
That is an 13.
13.
With hope.
That is a hit, and I won't need to ask of anything more. As this thing kind of rattles towards you, you bring the sword up and like it severs at the spine just below the rib cage and clatters into 2 bits. The cold kind of blue glow in its eye sockets fades away along with this ghostly, and then you watch as the corporeal form of the skeleton then turns into a blue fog-like mist and disappears away. You like looking around you. Lucretia is sort of like close to you. I would argue Vanier and Rayri are probably far away from you, and it's like a different part of town. But yeah, do you want to head anywhere, Azakar?
Yeah, Azakar's gonna head over to Lucretia and say, like, I think we found at least probably what an issue is. I think we should get out of here and warn the others.
That was amazing. You just cut it in half straight away.
Yes, that's what I do. Come on.
Who wants to jump in next?
Just understand, the creatures that are coming our way, are they within 5 feet of each other, or are they spread out?
So, you've just heard the sound of Azakar bisecting one of these skeletons, but as you turn and look, you can see that there is a group of 3 that are kind of clustered together, and they're just sort of like as they stumble towards you.
Finally, some action. Can I? As I look at Rayri.
Do it.
I blow my cape forward and present these gauntlets that start blowing with icy wind.
That's what I thought you were going to say. I throw the cloak back and press through these cannons!
That's only when Lucretia's looking. So yeah, I charge straight at these creatures, and I am going to use a hope to make a whirlwind attack because they're all
Oh.
clustered together.
Okay, so as you charge down these 3 skeletons, you notice that they seem to be wearing these kind of like torn cloths and rags. Like one's got like a bandana of sorts, and the clothing is quite flowing. In this moment, the word that kind of springs to your mind, Vanier, is corsair. These skeletons seem pirate-like. But yes, their eyes glowing, their jaw, like the one at the front that kind of lumbers towards you, its jaw is only connected on one side, so it swings as it kind of begins loping towards you.
Yeah, Vanya gets up to the one that's sort of closest in front, at high speed, presenting this gauntlet that's just blowing with this primal magic as he throws a fist towards it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my attack roll.
Yeah.
Let me just see if no, because I'm gonna be spending a hope anyway. If I hit. Right, so that's going to be a +3 on this roll. Come on, boy! So, that is 8 plus 7, 1, 2, so that's 15 plus 3, so that's an 18 to hit, with hope.
Yep. So you were down to 2, so that takes you back up to 3?
It takes me back up to 3. And because they're clumped together, I'm going to spend that hope that I just gained.
Yep. So back down to 2.
Make use my feature, whirlwind, which basically I can spend a hope and I can use that roll against every enemy within the weapon's range, and they any additional creatures that are hit their AC. Take half that amount of damage.
Okay.
So I am going to roll my 2d10 plus 3 damage. Plus 3. Roll.
12.
I rolled 12 damage in total. So that would mean that the other 2 skeletons take 6 damage as bits of icy wind sort of blasts off in that arc of a punch.
Vanier, describe to me what happens to these 3 skeletons.
Again, have you seen One Punch Man? It speeds up with an almighty force and speed, and it almost in that, like, as the camera pans down in that slow motion, as this fist comes from underneath the cloak, the gauntlets glow with this blue across these veins on the stone, and you can see all the the wind and ice sort of build up in that one slow punch before it just almost like pushing a tornado out of its fist just creates this just concussive blast of icy wind that just scatters the bones.
Okay, in which case, Lucretia and Mary, you watch and hear as bits of shattered bone are blown away from the spot where these 3 skeletons once stood. But interestingly, even as they ricochet off the walls of the buildings nearby, before they hit the ground, they also kind of dissipate into a cold, foggy mist. And once again, the town, the outpost, is silent.
Ah.
Sorry, I should have saved some for you, Riri.
How did you get to get any of them? Did you see one of them had like an eye patch? Like
What?
a little, like, he looked like a pirate.
Like a pirate?
He had like an eye patch. He had like a little bandana.
So we're facing undead pirates here.
I must
That's
say,
pretty cool.
It's got
it's it's not looking fantastic for the people of this this township, is it? I can sense an atmosphere of necromancy hanging around the place.
What,
not
was that
good.
the undead? Did that give you that sort of necromancy vibe?
Well, yes, but
Yeah.
it permeates the whole place, not just coming from them.
Do you think they came from, or up there?
I think I know what happened. Picture this. Flying ghostly ship arrives above town.
Yeah.
Few of these skelly bobs come down, kill the people in the town, and take them as extra crew on their ship. And now they're coming to this other new town with more skelly bobs
My,
on
how
their
grisly.
ship. Mm.
40 to 50.
I've got the smarts, you see.
He is. He's very smart.
Mm.
So, with this kind of discovery in mind, is there anything else you're doing in 10th Bridge, or Eldra, who has been with you all this time, is just stood sort of like mouth agape because she's just watched a wolfkin man punch 3 skeletons into bone meal. But yeah, is there anything you want? Is there any other investigation you want to do here, or now that you've got an idea of what you're facing, are you gonna head back to Toon?
Azakar, does your divine magic have extra punch against these creatures?
I will be honest, I've never tried. I've never been up against the undead.
Really?
No. This is a first.
Well, we're all learning new things, aren't we?
I came across some undead once. It was not pretty. The story for another time. Why don't we head back? I think we make a plan of attack. Yeah.
Dan, who is the sprite that's with us again?
Eldra Macewind. So she's a Norran
Eldra.
sprite. Yeah,
And she's already been here.
So she just kind of had a little wander around, had a look.
Presumably she didn't come across any undead.
Well, you notice that she looks a bit like, you know, she's absolutely amazed at what she's just seen. But yeah, Azakar, as you kind of begins to put 2 and 2 together, like how come she didn't see these? She looks at you a bit sheepishly, and well, I mean, I didn't get that close to the outpost. You understand?
What close did you get?
And she sort of like looks around and then looks back up the path that you've come down to, like the crest of the hill. It was the silence. When I noticed that it was completely silent, I just turned and left.
Oh,
There is nothing to be ashamed of.
Sounds
This is
jolly
an-
sensible, actually.
This is an unusual. I mean, after the eschaton, we are facing all sorts of strange situations.
Unknown horrors.
She nods. I mean, I've slain a 3-claw horngrix all by myself, and I mean that just.
Have you?
Yes, she says, and she like the pleading.
She did as a card. You have to be so skeptical.
She just told us she came here and she hadn't.
It was a lie by omission. She was on her own. She was scared.
A freehorn Kulgrit. I've tried some of that before.
She
Have you?
yeah, Eldra is like, there's a pleading look in her eyes when she says, yes,
It's
I have,
good.
I have. But yeah, and then, well, she looks a bit bashful, and I'm sorry if I misled you in any way, but whatever took all of these people, I feel like, well, with how easily you dispatch your skeletons, perhaps there's something else. Perhaps the ship. Perhaps it's the ship itself.
What did I say? We punch ship out of sky.
Yeah, and that I said, what if there's people on the ship?
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
So yes,
Jeez.
are there any other investigations happening here, or are you heading back to 10th Bridge to perhaps set up defences, for example?
Maybe before we go, I want to try out one of my spells. Are there any rules in Daggerheart about the number of times you cast the spells on your codex cards?
Nope.
They just cost
Nope.
a price of hope or something.
Whatever it says, yeah, on the on the card,
because
it might say it costs
I've got
something,
one that says, I've got one called Reveal, where you make a spellcast roll, and if there's anything hidden within
Oh, hang on. Sorry, you've dropped out, Julia.
if I could, I guess close range. How far is that?
Sorry, go back to rewind a little bit. Sorry.
So close is 30 feet.
So within
Give or
30
take.
feet, I make a spellcast roll,
Uh-huh.
and anything hidden that would be revealed by a roll of that amount gets revealed, basically.
Okay.
I don't know how you determine, like, what would be revealed.
We can work with it. Yeah, if you want to do a reveal, yeah. So your spellcast trait is your knowledge. So please roll me a knowledge check.
Right. So it is 20 with hope.
Wow, we were. Lucretia up to 5 hope.
Cheers.
Okay, so 20 with hope.
I
You.
get my book and my staff out, and I go.
So what I will say you recognise then is that the spot where these 4 skeletons were are all within 30 feet of you, like within close range of you, and you can sense that the mana that sustained them is flowing towards Cayley Point, but more importantly upwards.
Upwards to in the sort of vague direction of Cayley Point, yeah?
Yes.
Great.
Perhaps to
Excellent.
Sky above.
you might suspect that based on the descriptions you've had, perhaps to a ship that sails the clouds.
Mm-hmm. Great. I tell the others that.
Well, seems like all roads lead to sky ship, isn't it?
Do we need to get on board the ship?
I was thinking the same. That we.
Could we use that watchtower in the town? That's the tallest thing, right? We climb up the watchtower. We, I don't know.
But still not the clouds.
But the boat will come down, right?
Okay.
Presumably, this is a conversation you're having on the way back to Cayley Point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Marvelous. Okay, so you head back. Realistically, you've got about 10 hours left. But in the interest of time, what sort of preparations are we thinking that we would want to start creating? Like task the townsfolk with building, and then they can get started on it over the break.
I definitely think some sort of bomb. Did you say?
A ghost bomb.
A ghost bomb. I definitely think some sort of shelter for the townsfolk. They
Sure.
need to start looking after themselves.
Yeah.
Without constantly going in my character voice, but the suggestions I've kind of was pondering about this.
Oh,
There's
go.
there's cornfields all around, right?
Uh-huh.
If there's like 400 townsfolk, maybe they hide in these cornfields.
Like signs.
And then lob
And then-
corn at it.
And,
Wait, not. Wait,
and we build something in the center where they're all meant to appear, these skellies, to like trap them in and just bombard them.
I'm definitely on board with the trapping the skellies, sort of filtering the skellies into the centre and us fighting them there. Should we not be maybe getting the townsfolk to board up their houses and take refuge in their houses and like board up their windows and get into their basements and all that?
Why don't we make a load of mannequins that look like townsfolk?
Yes.
And then they
a distraction.
And then they'll come down and think they're townsfolk. And then we'll be there like
I love it.
that's my idea.
So, hang on. So run this by me again.
We're gonna, well, are
Pew,
we
pew,
thinking
pew.
cornfields or board everybody and get everybody to board themselves up into their houses, shore up their defences? I think that maybe.
I
that
like the
one.
mannequin idea. At
The
least make a
mannequins
couple
are a
of...
really
Yeah,
good idea. We're gonna get the townsfolk to make mannequins.
Okay.
only a couple. They
Yeah.
only need a few.
Just to kind of stand in the middle of the town, being like, "Oh,
Just like this.
I'm just a
Oh,
villager."
I'm just buying an apple. One, please.
Okay.
Okay, so there's that. Definitely, I think that's really good.
And
Can
then,
I? Can? Ooh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, I would like Lucretia to do some thinking in her noggin about everything she's ever read about undead, ideally skeletal pirates. I want to know, can we fight them? Can we?
Well,
I mean, we can based on our experience so far, but like, is there any chance there's going to be trickier stuff to deal with that we might need to prepare for?
so okay. So we've got how
That's what I'm gonna
how can we fight them? So at the very least, you know that you would presume that these skeletons are a crew of some sort, and they at the very least were physically tangible.
Yeah.
The true nature of the ship is yet unknown, as of yet unknown. But yeah, I mean, have you got like an experience that you can lean on that you might?
I've got my academic savant. Like, I have read a lot
Okay.
of stuff.
So there is an
Like,
idea
a lot.
that if you are happy to kind of spend a hope for
Yeah.
an experience, you
Yeah.
automatically succeed if it's relevant. So in exchange
Okay.
for a hope, we can rely on your academic savantness.
Okay.
And I can
Great.
just tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
well, down to 4 hope. Your suspicions are confirmed when you see this kind of manner kind of wafting away back up into the sky. That perhaps what you're facing, you've read stories and theses on grave ships, which are ghost-like vessels that sail the skies, and the boat itself is a incorporeal mass, but it is actually made up of the trapped spirits within. And sort of like having seen everything that you've seen, like when the crew, which are the souls of the damned that are bound to the ship, kind of go to land, so to speak, they become corporeal. But when they return, they return to a incorporeal manner-like state. But it also feeds on, it feeds on the living. It feeds on life energy, and or it swells its crew with the living.
Oh my god. Hate that. Absolutely hate that.
So perhaps, but you also know that because it is this kind of gestalt entity, it takes the visage of a flying ship, but with like holes in it and broken masts and tattered. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know what.
Sails. Thank you. Tattered sails.
Maths
But
and all.
it is a conglomeration of mana, so it might not always present itself as a ship.
Right. Okay. But so the important thing is it's incorporeal when it's sailing.
Yes.
In the sky, but then when it lands, or when the spirits make landfall, they will be corporeal and we can fight them.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can destroy the ship.
In a manner of speaking, I suppose.
You could punch a hole through the ship.
Can I punch the ship?
You can punch spirits from the ship, for sure. I'm not sure about the ship itself when it's airborne. Should we talk to the priestess?
I was going to say that, yeah.
Okay. So the to-do list is talk to the priestess, get the townsfolk to begin barricading themselves in their. Like, are you going for the fields or are you going for the homes?
Let me.
The fields feel quite a vulnerable place if they get discovered. They're just in the open.
I'm
so I
okay.
think
Here's
maybe their
a
houses
little
will-
thinkaroo.
Yeah.
I got an idea. This is me, just above board. If we're gonna board them in their houses, I still like this mannequin idea. If we can make a bunch of mannequins,
mannequins are
near
ace. I love
the tower.
Oh, sorry, we lost you, Dan.
The tower.
Oh.
That like all like the townspeople are in like the watchtower or tower area, so they will drop down there, but we then have these hidden like wooden walls to like raise up as soon as they all drop down, so we trap them within a certain area.
Okay. So you're going to speak with the priestess. The townsfolk are going to barricade themselves in their homes, etc., etc., and you're going to build a number of like decoy target dummies, World of Warcraft style, around the watchtower, as well as defenses like palisades that effectively come up to ring in, like fence in the skeletons that drop down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if any of them manage to get outside of that, then it's easier to pick them off first and deal with the ones in. And who knows, we might be able to procure holy water or things that might be effective against undead that we can chuck into the pit of death.
Nice.
Okay. In which case, it sounds like we have a plan. So, as you arrive back in Cayley Point, who's gonna head over to the priestess? We'll pick up with that after the break.
I will. Yeah.
Azakar? Okay, marvellous. So Azakar's going to speak to the priestess while the other three of you kind of put the townsfolk to task. But yeah, I think that's a good as point as any to go for a quick break. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, make sure to hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, because then you can chat to us in the chat, like good old Chris, who has actually evolved over the space of tonight. And you never know, it might have a similar effect on you. We also have loads of other TTRPG stuff running on the channel, and we wouldn't want you to miss out on it. So yeah, do yourself a favour, hit the subscribe button. We will see you all in about 15 minutes. How's that sound?
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Nice.
See you in a bit. Bye. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Explorers of Elsewhere's Tales from Elsewhere, our live-streamed Daggerheart campaign, episodic campaign thing. Hi, I'm DM Dan. It is Halloween.
Halloween.
And I'm joined by Julia, Nate, Livvy, and Dan. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
I hope everyone is sufficiently bereft of pee and rich with tea, because we're about to jump back in. We find our explorers in the town, the relatively new town of Cayley Point, which has put out a bit of a distress call because the mayor of the town believes that this very night the town will be reduced to wreck and ruin at the ghostly hands of a mysterious spectral grave ship. Having started their preliminary investigations, the explorers have headed to the nearby outpost of 10th Bridge and found all of its inhabitants missing, but there were a few straggler remainer skeletons loitering in the shadows of the small outpost town of perhaps 40 unfortunate souls. Rushing back to Cayley Point, you are preparing some final kind of preparations to prepare yourself for the inevitable attack from this ghost ship. And all we can do now is kind of wait as the clock ticks down to midnight. There's a few things that you've got to do first, actually, before we hit midnight, but who would like to watch the intro video and then dive back in?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Marvellous. Let's go.
All across the unknown world, rediscovery pushes ever onwards to find the lands and people lost. All thanks to our brave explorers.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Vanya the Wolfkin Warrior.
Hey, I'm Livvy. I'm going to be playing Ray, the Sprite Ranger. Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Lucretia, a Laravel wizard.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Azakar, a Majani Seraph.
And my name is DM Dan. I'll be the GM in these adventures.
The further we go, the more we learn of these magical tales from elsewhere.
So, we find the four of you having recently arrived back in the town of 10th Bridge. There is a plan that you're setting in motion. You're going to presumably speak to the owner of the lumber mill to acquire enough kind of wooden planks to allow the townsfolk to barricade themselves in their houses for the inevitable attack. But you're also going to need some lumber to build some decoys around the central watchtower atop the hill in the middle of Cayley Point. You're going to build some decoys in an attempt to lure the skelebobs into a killing field, where you're going to raise up wooden palisades to trap them in and then do unspeakable things to them. But we're also going to speak to the town's local priestess. Who's going on that little sojourn?
Azakar is going to go, and he is going to turn to Lucretia and say, you like nature, yes?
Love it.
Golden's a female dragon, right, Dan?
A boy dragon.
A boy dragon.
It's got a divine winkus.
Golden, he is a god of nature.
Indeed.
Perhaps it would be of interest to you.
I will come along out of academic interest, yes.
Cool.
Marvellous. Okay, so, as the two of you head across town, you can see that there are a number of sort of like worried faces in the windows watching you pass as the sky overhead gets darker and darker as you kind of begin your journey into evening. And in the southwest corner of the town, so the southwest corner of the hill at the centre of the town, you see a building that looks unlike a lot of the other buildings. Whereas the other buildings are quite like high vaulted ceilings, lots of kind of sharp angles. The chapel, it's got this very kind of rounded, almost welcoming aesthetic. It seems like a harbour of peace and well-being in this kind of miasma of despair. But as the two of you ascend the steps up into the chapel, you find, like, knelt down in front of an altar, like in front of you is a slender, dark-skinned Laravar woman with like long black hair that reaches down past her waist. You see a number of very kind of intricate-looking ornamentations, like decorating her hair and the tops of her ears. And as she hears the two of you enter, she stands and turns to you. You notice that her makeup, which is immaculately applied, long kind of sweeping eyelash, long sweeping wings over her eyes, her lips kind of contoured into a tight, almost like a puckered shape, all in this bright, lustrous silver. And she regards you with these big, dark eyes, and I sense you are a fellow devout.
I am. Good evening.
She steps, as she walks towards you, you notice that the pendant of Gogoldin that hangs around her neck, which is made of like a carved, almost mossy like stone, stands kind of apart from the rest of what she's wearing. And the accent that she has is one that you've never kind of really heard before, but she kind of bows slightly, and these are troubling times. Please, this is a refuge. You may speak your mind. You may ask for help. What can we do?
We believe that we will be up against the undead. And we have come for guidance and possibly some sort of divinity to help us.
I assume, with Gogoldin's grace, that this is a hypothesis gained from travel to 10th Bridge?
It is.
This is troubling news. What would you ask of my chapel?
If I may, we believe we're up against a grave ship. It is an incorporeal mass of souls which becomes corporeal when it makes landfall. We've already struck down a few of them, skeletons and the like, but there's every likelihood it's going to be a veritable horde. Is there any type of divine magic that can, I don't know, turn the undead in some way, just in case we are up against supreme numbers?
The priestess ponders for a moment. She lifts a finger to her bottom lip, pinches it slightly between her index and thumb. I am happy to lend my aid. divine spellcasting would be a boon in what is to come. Alternatively, I can provide protections for the townsfolk. I can ward their defenses. Or I can, if you intend on fighting this grave ship alone, I can imbue your weapons. With divine essence, so that your physical attacks may cause damage to the incorporeal nature of the grave ship.
Can you, by any chance, imbue fists? It's asking for a friend.
I can imbue inanimate objects with Gogoldin's grace.
So sort of gauntlets, for example.
Absolutely.
Oh, Vanya's going to be very happy about it.
He will be. He's very keen on punching.
So that's the menu, is it? Imbuing, defending, or lending aid in the fight?
Correct.
What do you recommend?
She ponders and on the one hand, I would throw my weight behind the protection of the townsfolk, of course. However, I feel that without a method of striking at this foe, you will not achieve victory.
I am inclined to agree. What do you think, Car?
I mean, my weapon is already imbued with divinity. But another pair of gauntlets would help with that.
She looks to you, Lucretia. I smell the sense of the arcane upon you.
Guilty?
I would, if you are versed in this dangerous art, then perhaps you are already well equipped for what is to come.
I mean, potentially. Do you think that my magic will make a dent in this ship?
The priestess nods. If the two of you are able to imbue the attacks of your allies yourselves, then I can tend to other priorities in the town.
Okay, so we take care of the imbuing, and you defend the people. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. I can place defensive sigils throughout the town to ensure that any marauding undead are dispatched.
I
Sounds
think
like
that
a plan.
Splendid, yes.
What is your plan of attack? A ghost ship can fly at some considerable heights. How will you tempt it down?
We thought we might lure them with some fake townsfolk to the central area around in the center of town while all the people are hidden away in their house.
Very good. Very good. This will the prospect of easy prey will be enticing to the crew of a grave ship. But may I also suggest that perhaps you consider the captain of such ship might be a creature of pride, of hubris. Perhaps the opportunity of a greater prize in one of you might tempt the leader of such a vessel down.
So perhaps one of us stands on the tower and waves and shouts, "Oi, I'm here, hello."
Perhaps.
Something like that.
Perhaps.
Well, Azakar, you heard the lady. Get up on the tower. Go on.
Wait a minute, you just said you to do it.
No, I think you look a lot stronger than me. Or do you think Vanya would do it?
I think Vanya would have.
I mean, I know
every
Rayri would do
opportunity.
it. She seems utterly nuts. I love her. But, you know, Vanya might feel upset if we don't give him the opportunity as well.
I think his brashness will be a good calling to them.
He's just itching to sucker punch that ship, isn't he?
Oh, he always is.
So, just to confirm, what would you like this priestess to do very specifically?
To protect to put some sigils around,
Ward-
protect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ward the
to
town.
protect
So,
some.
yeah, hopefully that will take out a few of the undead in and of itself as they run off to try and get into the houses or something. Landmines will go off.
Divine landmines. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good. Very good. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to discuss with the priestess? Or...
No, I don't. I think we're done with the priestess. I need to figure out how the heck I imbue someone else's weapon with magic. If that was what she was implying.
So you can do things like tag teams and...
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it would be like a tag team thing.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Who is... so whilst Azakar and Lucretia are doing that, between Vanya and Rayri, who was gathering the townsfolk to instruct them to start this grand Home Alone style defense plan?
Mary's more than happy to do that. She
Yeah.
has experience. I mean, one of her experiences is treehouse architect. So she is at building things.
Okay, treehouse architect. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So one hope for that takes you down to 2. How the townsfolk are gathered around you, Rayri? How are you approaching? I mean, obviously they're like already on board in so much as if they're not on board, they'll probably not live to see tomorrow. But how are you going about kind of turning this ragtag group of commoners into an efficient workforce that is building moving decoy dummies and a lifting barricade palisade wall?
I think she gets into the centre of town, kind of gets a little box to stand on.
Huh.
She's a little bit higher up, and gets Vinny to do a big bark, get everyone's attention. Vinny, oh, round him up. He does. He goes around, literally herding them up. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, folks. Our plan. We're gonna get all you guys over there. You 10. Alright, yeah? You're building big walls, right? Big walls. You guys over there. Yeah? You're making mannequins. Don't ask why. We just are. Guys over there. You're gonna find things to dress the mannequins. I want lady mannequins. I want boy mannequins. I want girl mannequins. I want old people mannequins. Gotta make it look real. Right. You over there. Just points to Vanya. Approaching wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just going to explain kind of thing. Maybe like get a stick, make a plan in the dirt. Just kind of, she's like a little Napoleon-esque rabble rouser. Just getting her, just whipping her all into shape. Master!
Okay. What ability are you using for this? I mean, it sounds a bit like
Intimidation.
it sounds a bit like a presence check.
Fabulous. Can I use my Treehouse Architect?
You can,
As a-
yes. I've already taken the hope for that, so yeah, adds +2. Oh, you guys rolling on fire tonight.
Yeah.
What was
So 12
then
plus.
2 for Treehouse Architect?
And
14?
presents.
14
Oh, plus your presence, yeah.
Yep.
plus my presence. What's presence? Oh, presence. Yeah, +0. Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, Beef is suggesting, Nate, that it is your presence that's doing all this. We need to nerf you. So a grand total of 14. With hope. So, the townsfolk, inspired by this explorer that's come to help save them, they are galvanized to not only complete the projects, but they complete all of the projects well. Nothing has sort of like accidentally been a bit less good because they're multitasking. But yeah, the mannequins are great. Some of them even wiggle, wobble around.
So just a bunch of weebles.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Style trap.
So, explain to me, sorry, these sort of like this palisade wall idea, because it sounded like they would be on the floor and then something would happen and then suddenly they'd like erect.
Yes. Yeah, would have to have some kind of pop up. Sorry, this is so yeah, I mean, some kind of pop up style trap direction, I guess, or all four of us. We have rope. All of us can pull them up once they get.
Some contraptions so that the walls are hidden under some leaves and stuff. Dirt. And then when they're all in this watchtower area.
Okay. Yeah, in which case that is sorted and they've done a good job.
If it makes sense, if I'm thinking aloud, if this boat thing is going to come down near the watchtower as the skellies descend onto the fake people, we could be pulling these ropes on top of the tower to pull the walls up, and then we'll be also on top of the tower ready to bombard this ship whilst these skelly bobs are trapped at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess we don't know exactly where the ship's going to park itself. It may not be right up against the watchtower. So for you, Vanya, who need in melee range, that could be
an issue.
I
just start punching all the skellies on the floor.
Yeah, baby.
Like Sauron in the second age final battle.
Amazing. Okay, so we have a bit of a plan. The barricades for the homes have been sorted. You've all managed to kind of build the decoys and the traps, and the priestess is going to go around and begin kind of bolstering the defenses around the town as well. That takes some considerable number of hours. As the lights around the town of Cayley Point begin to turn on, as evening gives way to night, Where do we find the four of you on the eve of this defence?
Who is gonna stand on the watchtower and do a big wave of the arms and go, "Ooh, look at me"?
With Vanya, I don't know where he.
Ooh, me? What am I doing?
We were thinking if you go onto the top of the watchtower, you'll be quite good prey for them.
You might draw the captain out. Thought.
So I can like get in conflict with the captain. Yeah,
Yes.
I understand
Punch.
predator and prey mentality.
Okay.
I'll do it.
So Vanya's going to be posted up in the watchtower. Where's Rayri going to be posted?
I mean, it is ranged weapons. I would like to stand maybe on top of one of the Is it in a square? Like, are we trying to get them in the middle of the square?
We're trying to get them in the middle of the area of the watchtower, that circle basically. We're gonna make fake stools and fake mannequins so that
Maybe
it
we're
looks
all
like all
on
the
the
townspeople
tower.
in there.
Yeah, we'd have to all be on the tower, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so the palisades, the pop-up palisades that the townsfolk have built, form an octagon around the watchtower on the top of this hill in the centre of the town. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of room to move around within the sort of like the palisaded area. So you could be on either side of the wall when they kind of pop up, or you could be in the watchtower or whatnot. Yes, up to you.
I think I'd probably be in the watchtower as I can shoot far from all angles.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for me to be up.
Okay.
Sheltering.
Lucretia?
I feel like I've got a lot of ranged stuff. It wouldn't be a bad idea for me to be
In the tower as well?
start out on the tower. Yeah.
Okay. And Azakar?
I'll be down on the ground then,
Cool.
around the tower.
Cool. Okay. In which case, are the four of you ready?
Born ready.
Okay. So,
Did we decide how we're dealing with the skelly bobs once they're trapped in?
Fighting around the world, fighting them.
Fighting them.
good punch 'em.
Gonna punch them.
I mean, if I was down there, I'd punch them all, but I'm on top of the tower.
Well, I
think
mean,
maybe.
well, I was going to say, you can certainly, you're in the watchtower, but it's not so tall that you wouldn't ever be able to make it down to help out.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so the four of you prepare yourselves in the central watchtower as you see the lights throughout the town kind of go out as people kind of cast themselves into darkness to help with their hiding. Until all that you can see is illuminated by the moon that's partially covered over by this like light but dark, like light as in thickness but dark clouds. And you all feel the temperature begin to drop very rapidly as the clouds part and the moon seems to be glowing brighter than usual, pretty much as the clocks hit midnight. And in the distance, you see a large galleon-like ship with broken hull, tattered sails, ragged kind of rigging, is lazily drifting across the clouds, through the sky overhead. And the closer it gets, the colder it gets. And as it begins kind of drifting towards you, it gets to within sort of like far range. Who wants to do? Is there anything that you lot are doing? Because we are fundamentally in combat now. So, yeah, who wants to open up
Did you
first?
say very far range? Was that?
Very far range, but you
Do
can.
we want to get its attention?
Yoo-hoo!
Could I do something very quickly?
Yes, absolutely.
Could I roll my prayer dice?
You can.
Ooh.
So they are 2d4s. So let's roll those. Okay, so we've got a 1 and a 4. So to keep you up to date, Julia, my prayer dice give me. I can spend one of them to reduce incoming damage, add to any roll result after the roll, or additionally I can assist in exchange values for that many hope, and I can give that to any PC. So basically I can give some hope. I could give 4 hope, I could give 1 hope.
Okay. Yeah.
Very good,
Get it.
very good.
Got it.
Yes,
Great.
it is at far range. Very far range, sorry.
As Vanya starts going, hello, over here, I go, oh, I was thinking I'd just throw a fireball at it. Is that okay if I do that?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I was told to attract them, so you go ahead.
I'll get their attention, you draw them in.
Okay. As this ship begins sort of like lowering down towards the ground, as it seems to be like zoning in on you, the 3 of you in the watchtower, 4 if we include Vinny. But yeah, as it comes into range, by all means, Lucretia, start.
I will make a spellcast roll against the ship. It is 16 with hope.
16 with hope, so that takes you up to 5.
Thank
you. What does your fireball do?
It well, he needs the ship, the target, and all creatures very close to them must make a reaction roll 12.
Oh, I just imagine this ship is like coming like a doomsday, and then suddenly.
It's not going to be that big. It's D8 plus 5 magic damage if they fail their reaction roll.
Oh no, I've rubbed my face paint off. Okay,
Oh, no.
so you've rolled a was it 15? No, 17. What did you roll?
I rolled a 16. A 16 with hope.
Okay, you conjure this fireball, and as you launch it towards the ship, and like you will watch as this mote of sort of like fire gets smaller and smaller. You then watch as the ship banks,
Ooh.
and the fireball just grazes past it and misses.
Man.
Just grazes past.
Okay. I think I'm getting the measure of it.
Who's going next?
If that was a miss.
If I
wouldn't that
failed,
technically-
it's your turn, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that is very true. In which case, as it like banks off to the right, it then sort of like rotates a full 360 until it's right way up and kind of again pointing at the watchtower. And it's within far range now, and it's close enough that those of you in the tower can see that there's this kind of ghostly like skeleton crew that are hurrying across the deck of this ship like a colony of ants. Lucretia, as it gets closer and the moon illuminates it and the ship itself kind of glows brighter, you kind of, well, actually, Vanya, with your acute senses, you probably notice this is more, but you might not fully comprehend what you're seeing. But yeah, Lucretia, you notice this cylindrical shape emerge from the front of the ship.
Oh no.
And you see one skeleton on the deck lift a hand up, and as it drops its hand, there is a deafening boom, and this ghostly cannonball is fired out the front of the ship towards the watchtower.
No!
Uh,
Our plan is falling apart.
so I roll a d20.
Whoa.
That
Is that what would be known as a crit?
that is a crit. That is a crit.
Oh
That-
no.
Oh dear!
That is a crit.
Right, okay.
So, PC Dan.
Yep.
Crits are max damage, and then you roll again, right?
Yes, I'm just making sure that's the same for
rough.
GM.
Yeah.
Ray's retreating
GM
into her
GM critical
scarf.
success. um. So whenever you roll, you automatically succeed, regardless of PCs. If you critically succeed on an attack roll, you also deal extra damage. Start with the full value of the damage dice, and then make a damage roll
Cool.
as normal to add the value.
So
This
I'm
is
just
for GM
I'm
as
just
well.
gonna do this in one single roll, okay?
Looks like you're taking this fight on your own, Azakar. Been nice knowing you all.
The damage roll, everybody, is 3d20 plus 60.
How did you max out so good? How did you do that?
92, almost as much damage as you did to Atrak in Tail 1. Okay.
Oh no!
Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh.
Points does this watchtower have?
So
Anyway.
what death option are you guys choosing?
This cannonball flies true, and Azakar, you look up as it strikes the side of the tower, punches clean through the stonework. You hear the sound of wood being shredded, and then a second explosion as it erupts out the backside of this tower, slightly lower down. And as you look up, you watch as the tower, you watch this stone tower visibly arc backwards from the impact, and then as it kind of corrects itself, it then begins to list.
Great. Cool.
The three of you in the tower, tell me what you're rolling realistically to try and escape this falling tower that you're in.
How far up is it?
Probably about 40 feet.
Okay.
Hmm.
I have an idea from me.
I mean, I know I can take care of myself, hopefully. Situation. But
Tell you what, actually, what's probably easier, if the three of you can roll me a duality dice each,
Okay.
and then we're primarily looking at whether it's hope or fear.
Okay.
Okay.
So Ray rolls with hope. Lucretia rolls
I
with
roll
hope.
fear.
No, you roll with hope.
Oh, of hope, sorry. I misread that.
And Vanya rolls with fear.
No!
The three of you are hurled from the top of you slide as the top of the tower starts to tip and buckle under its own weight. And as the three of you are cast from the tower in a plume of smoke and rubble, Rayri and Lucretia are going to take major damage, and Vanya is going to take severe damage.
Could I argue that I would have used my teleport ability at this point to get safely to the bottom?
Maybe. What's the blurb for that?
When I have no enemies in melee range, which is true,
Yes.
I can make a spellcast roll, and I'm aiming for 13. On a success, spend a hope to disappear from where you are and reappear somewhere with far range that you can see. So I would just go down to the ground.
Okay.
Need to roll
Yes.
duality dice for that.
So yeah, roll me the spellcraft.
It's 14.
That is a
Ooh.
crit.
And that is a crit.
Really?
Yeah, because you got
Nice.
doubles.
Okay,
Nice.
so double 7. That is a crit. So
I will spend the hope to teleport to the ground, please.
okay. Cool. So you teleport to the ground. So I'll downgrade it to minor damage because there'll still be like bits of timber and stone masonry and whatnot flying in all directions. But as a car, you watch in horror as this tower just collapses backwards. Thankfully, not onto any kind of buildings of Cayley Point. Well, I think that's it for my turn. I'm not going to push the issue. Who wants to go next?
Can I just ask how damage works? So we've taken different levels of damage. What does that mean?
So if you take...
What do I put on my sheet?
So if you take minor damage, that is 1 hit point. So you mark 1 hit point of health. Major is 2. Severe is 3.
I can use an armor slot to negate 1 point.
You can, yes. So we're using the new armor rules. So yeah, you can expend one of your armor slots to reduce it down 1 level. So from severe to major, from major to minor, from minor to nothing.
Minor to 0?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll mark an slot in that case.
Okay. Yeah, who wants to go next?
I'm using an armor slot. Just as a note to make it to severe to major. I was going to argue a feat and see if I could narratively spin a feature of mine that I've got as part of the character, but I think it's a bit far-fetched.
What's the feature? Acute senses.
No, I've got this. So my 3rd level warrior card, Scramble. It's worded because it's meant to be a short range thing. So once per short rest, when an enemy in melee range would deal damage to you, you can avoid the damage entirely and safely move out of melee range from the enemy. So I was waiting for like a big hit from a boss or something. But obviously,
if you want to scramble away from the tower, I will allow
it. Okay, I will use that feature then to stop the severe damage.
Okay. Ray, have you got anything up your sleeves? Are you just eating shit?
I think just going to eat. We just kind of... Vinny provides 2 extra armor slots for myself. Vinny just kind of throws himself and me off the tower and uses a little cushion, and we kind of skid along.
Sure. Okay, very good. Okay, in which case, the 3 of you pick yourselves up. As a car, you're like, there's a cloud of dust that's emanating out from this tower. But it's your collective turns. Who wants to go next?
Peter, is it still within far?
Yes. Well, it's probably very far now because you're suddenly 40 foot closer to the centre of the world.
That's different.
Rough. That was rough.
Crits, like by all means, if you want, either you can hold fire for it to sort of have another go, or if no one else wants to, if everyone else is waiting, Lucretia can have a second go.
Yeah, I can't. I can only do stuff at far. The most I can do is far range. I can't go further than far. So
I will happily sling another fireball at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is anyone in need of any healing quite yet?
No. She's got a little cut on her face.
I've also got Bolt Beacon as well, so I can also do a far.
Ooh, I think I should do that.
Okay, well, Lucretia, it's your turn again. Make your attack roll with your fireball.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing it. I thought.
I can do it.
Sorry,
I can do it.
Sorry.
Well, it's very far at the moment. Bear in mind.
Oh, fine. Let me do this. So 8 plus 7 is 5. Was that 15, 16, 17, 18 with hope?
With hope again. You are up to the maximum of 6.
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting a bit embarrassing, actually.
So it was. Sorry, was it? What was it again? Sorry, 15, 18.
So if it's 18, yes.
18.
Quick maths.
Okay, roll for damage.
Oh, how do I do that?
What does it say the damage of your fireball is?
The damage of my fireball is 1d8 plus 5
Okay.
magic damage using my proficiency, which is only 1.
Yeah.
1d8. No, so we're on a proficiency 2 at this level. So now
Okay.
it's 2d8 plus 5.
I don't think Julia bought
Right.
the proficiency upgrade.
No, I think you
No,
get it
no, it's
anyway
just
at
you
level
get it
2.
anyway.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
automatic at
So
level
automatic.
2.
Okay,
So
very good.
2d8 plus 5. So
Yes.
presumably can I type that into
Yep.
Yeah.
Foundry? How do you do it?
So
You can
slash.
press the little dices
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah. Click
okay.
the d8 twice,
D8.
and then click the plus button underneath.
Roll it! 9.
Another D8.
And
Roll it! 1. 10.
10.
10 magic damage.
Okay.
Have at ya!
As you so you hurl the fireball and it like despite the fact you've just tumbled 40 feet out of a tower and sort of like teleported down to terra firma, like as you look up and you're able to focus in this moment to hurl the fireball true. What was the thing about the blast radius damage?
So it basically says that the target and all creatures very close to them must make a reaction roll. Sorry, so you only take the damage if you fail the reaction roll.
Okay. Fail the reaction.
Or they take half damage. So they take 5 if they succeed on that.
so roll individual dice for all 40 skeletons on
All
here.
500 skeletons on the ship.
So, adversary reaction rolls. How do I do that? I assume it's just a d20.
Possibly? I
The
imagine they might have different stats or
I just lost it.
reaction roll. Here we go.
I was looking at
roll.
adversary.
They don't generate any clear or additional GM moves, and they don't contribute to the action tracker.
It's a duality. Okay, but then I will roll with a d20. Okay, cool. So these are some of the crew get caught in the explosion. Okay. So let's just roll 4d20 and look at the numbers separately. One of them is fine.
I think 2 of them are fine, aren't they?
What's the target?
12.
Oh, is it 12? Okay.
The number is 12.
So two of them are fine. Okay, so yeah, as this blast of fire kind of erupts.
When you say fine, they still take 5 magic damage.
Yeah. So as this blast of magic kind of rips across the hull of the grave ship, it actually does still consume a full 4 of the crew, and that is 1 damage to the ship. Okay, cool. As that happens, as a reaction, as the ship kind of rocks away from the fireball, you see a number of the crew on the ship, and you see one in particular, Lucretia, that's sort of like grabs onto a rigging rope and leaps off from the back of the ship and swings along the length of the ship, and then releases and then sort of like hurtles through the air and lands next to you.
It's the ghost pirate, LeChuck.
So it emerges within close range of the attacker and immediately activates. So as it lands, it immediately kind of surges to its feet and swings with its cutlass. This is d20 -1. A 9 versus your evasion.
Oh, no, he does not. I just... He misses and I go, fascinating.
So you jump back as you say that, and this rusted scimitar just swings air, cuts through air in front of you. Okay, so that was Lucretia's turn. Who wants to go next? Because Lucretia rolled with hope.
Happy to.
I mean, if you wanted to run towards it, then you'd be in far range, Livvy.
Run towards
the ship.
Yeah, so I was going. Well, I was going to get the one that's come to ground.
Okay.
Get him. Get him.
Yeah.
So,
So that's certainly within close range of you.
yeah.
You'll go get him.
Exactly. Yeah. So as we're like, me and Vinny like dust ourselves off, got like a bit of blood on my nose, and I just look over and I just see just this new sort of witchy, like, witch that's with us just goes, oh, fascinating. And I'm just, Jesus Christ. And then I jump onto Vinny and we charge
Okay.
at this
Nice.
Skellybob.
Yep.
Attack roll. Let's get this one up. It is a chomp attack.
Chomper.
A chomper.
Chomper Womper.
Oh.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Oh.
Absolutely whiffed it.
Roll. Okay, so that is a 3 with fear. 3 plus something with fear. That takes me up to 6 of 12 fear. So yeah, as Vinny kind of lunges in for this skeleton, the skeleton, like for a moment, just turn. Like as Vinny lunges, the skeleton crouches and turns incorporeal, and Vinny and you go straight through it, and then it rematerializes.
I go like,
I will reactivate off the back of that, and the grave ship will fly in closer, and it's also coming down to Earth.
Do your thing, Vanya.
Worryingly, as it reaches the top of the hill, you watch as the hull, starting from the back, the wooden planks, like the ghostly wooden planks, seem to almost start peeling away from the hull of the ship. And the mast, the central mast, suddenly snaps and bends. And Azakar and Vanier, Azakar specifically, because it's landed in front of you, but you watch as this ship slowly transforms into this large, sort of like 30-foot tall ghost ship golem. As the wooden planks turn into sort of like legs, the cannon that it had fired has kind of migrated. Like the hull, like the front of the hull is now its right hand with the cannon barrel poking out of it. The sails that are protruding from its back make it look like fins that run down its spine, and where its head would be is what you presume to be the captain's deck, because as well as all of the skeletons that are clambering up and down this thing, there seems to be he stands out for his impressive hat. But there's a skeletal captain stood astride this ghost ship golem as he points to you, and all of the eye sockets of the skeletons on board glow with this intense cold blue flame. But yeah, Azakar, it lands in front of you, and as it transforms, it swings one of its fists at you. That's not what I wanted to roll.
Yeah, it was. You missed.
Oh, well.
Ah!
So as this, and you notice that now that it's touching the ground, the ghostly wood seems to be shifting into a more physical state, and the stench of rotting wood fills your nose as this fist arcs towards you, and you're able to just duck out the way of this cumbersome swing. But then the ghost ship golem stands to full height, and there's a chorus of screams of the dead from the crew that are clambering across its hull. That's it for me. Who wants to go next?
Oh my gosh.
Well, Dampy looks eager.
I think you are vibrating right now.
I want to be its friend.
Wait, Transformer Ghost!
Sounds cool, doesn't it?
Is Vanya taking his turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone wants to tag team in who have lots of hope, feel free. But I'm gonna go arcing straight at this golem.
That is a clarion call for you, Julia, if you would like to tag team with Vanya.
For sure. That
Okay.
would be great.
That would be 3 hope you have to spend to do the tag team.
I've got the hope, don't worry.
Sweet.
So you spend 3. So Lucretia spends 3 hope, and between the two of you, tell me how you're combining your efforts and powers into a singular attack.
I quite like the idea that I tap my staff against your gauntlets, charge them up with magic, and then you can do some kind of leapy punch or something.
Yeah, I imagine seeing this thing operate. Vanya just shouts out, "Lucretia!" and just tries to dart by you, raising a gauntlet.
Yeah, okay.
In anticipation.
I'm gonna hold up my staff ready to imbue you.
And as the gauntlet scrapes across your staff, the fact that you have, do you cast like primal magic, or is it arcane magic?
It's arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure how the magic amplifies the primal magic in the gauntlets, like almost like a matchstick, scraping against the lighter to light a flame. And yeah, Vanya just goes charging in to basically punch against this golem's leg.
Okay.
And now what happens here, Julia, is we both make hope duality rolls.
Yes.
And we're looking to see who gets the better rolls out of us two.
Do we use particular modifier for this?
Yes,
So
we do.
You would use your spell
I'll use my spell
casting trait, yeah.
No
So
problem.
Yeah.
knowledge. Yeah.
Right.
I'm
So
probably
Vanya
gonna-
roll for attack.
yeah.
You're
Let's
gonna do
do
an
this.
attack roll and I'll do a knowledge roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a 23 with hope for me.
Which is better than mine, I think. Wait, hold on. What did I just roll?
18 plus something.
Plus
your
3.
attack. So 21 with fear you rolled.
Yeah. What was yours, Julie?
23 with hope.
Then yours is better, and we take that, and we both get a hope. I believe.
Only Lucretia gets a hope.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because she gets.
Yeah,
she's
whoever
the
rolled
one
the
who
hope
initiate,
gets
yeah.
a hope.
that
Okay,
was it.
so Lucretia, as you kind of imbue Vanya's gauntlets with additional arcane power, the two, effectively, Julie, you can have a look through your spell list and figure out, what spell did I enchant Vanya's gauntlets with?
Probably a wild flame spell,
Okay.
something like that, to add extra sort of fire to his gauntlets.
So a 23 is a hit. Please, both of you, roll me your damage, and then we'll add it together.
Remember, it's oh yeah, no, this is just roll your damage. Sorry.
So what does that
Excuse me.
mean?
So what's the damage of Wild Flame?
Oh, 2d6, and technically it would also add a stress target.
Okay. So yeah, add a stress onto yourself and then roll 2d6.
It says
Does it add stress onto the person and to the target?
2d6 magic damage and a stress to any again.
Oh, okay, to the ship. Okay, to the ship. Okay, fine.
So I'm gonna roll 2d6. It's 5.
Okay, and what's
Magic
Dan
damage.
rolling?
15. So we do 20 damage in total.
20
Oh,
damage
boy.
in total.
It's very good.
Could I have spent a? Is there any creatures within very close?
Of its legs, probably not. They'll be kind of hovering around its torso primarily.
Yeah, because I can't reach its torso.
No.
I can
Okay.
only reach his leg at this point. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I won't cast anything else.
Well, in which case, Vanier, as you leap up and your stony gauntlet connects with the side of the ship, you feel the now physical rotten wood hull splinter under your fiery, icy blow. And it sends, like, you see ripples and cracks emanate from your point of impact, and a number of skeletons are sort of like knocked away from the ship and just like discombobulate as they float away. That is major damage to the ship.
Yeah, baby.
As you, like, Vanya, as you sort of like then put your feet on the side to push yourself back to land, you look up and notice that a skeleton, one of the crewmates, has just leapt off the side towards you, cutlass in hand, and it's going to swing at you as it lands. Or
is that a did you initiate something to do this? Like,
it's an immediate reaction.
It's like a reaction.
Immediate
the
reaction,
ship's
sorry,
supposed to
yeah.
have,
Cool.
11 to hit against Vanya.
My evasion, hold on, is 12, so no.
So the skeleton, sort of like the cutlass embeds into the dirt where your feet were a moment ago as you kind of spring out the way, and then it looks up to you and as its jaw unhinges. Who's next?
Take it out.
Azakar?
I'll go next. We can see the captain, can't we?
Yes.
How far would you say he is?
Well, he's 30 foot up, so he's close range if you're at the feet of the ghost ship, which you are.
Yeah.
Nice.
I am gonna.
In exchange for an agility roll, I will let you attempt to clamber the ship.
Actually, I was gonna fire at him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was gonna fire a bolt beacon at him.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Roll to hit.
Mm-hmm. It's not very good.
So I think as you go to hit the captain with your bolt beacon, I probably would have said something like, "Go on, Azakar, you can do it," and you can re-roll and take the new roll.
Thank you.
Go on.
Wow.
That's the only
With
time I
that.
get that in this fight.
Oh,
I
thank you.
can't do it all the time.
With those added words, I'm also gonna spend a hope to use an experience to use keen sight,
Okay.
which will give me a +2 on that roll.
So down to 3.
Oh, it's a crit.
Hey!
We love it, our crit.
Baby!
He doesn't even need to die before he does it anymore. Okay, yeah. Roll me damage, and then add your max damage on top of it.
Okay, so that is 2 2d8 +2. Roll that. That's going to be an 8, and so that's 2d8s, so 16.
So 24.
Yeah, 24.
24. And what else does Bolt Beacon do?
Deals that using proficiency and making them glow brightly, they become vulnerable. They become temporarily vulnerable.
Okay. You know what? What does this look like, Azakar?
Sort of upon seeing Vanya, this little skeleton, like avoiding the skeletons, he knows that he's got it. He is going to look straight back up and see the pirate captain at the top. He's going to sort of swift his hands around, producing sort of like this divine bolt that comes from somewhere in his wrists, and then just aim it sort of straight up at him, right into his face.
Okay.
Hey.
You watch as this bolt of light arcs up and sort of like towards the ship, and then kind of course corrects to follow along the side of the hull as it kind of races up the side of the ship. And the pirate So the skeletal pirate captain is peering over the edge, having just been rocked by Vanya and Lucretia's combined attack. And in this moment, Azakar, the captain cannot react quick enough as this bolt strikes him under the jawbone, and his jaw and skull disintegrate in a flash of light. Off the back of a crit, I'm gonna use the damage threshold for a pirate captain. So that is 3 damage. That is severe damage to the ship. So it's taken 6 damage. And as the pirate captain is blown to bits, and glowing bits of captain kind of litter themselves across the ship, lighting it up. Who wants to go next?
Pretty good.
Pretty sweet.
Ray, I think it's your moment.
Yeah, so the captain is now.
The captain's gone, and you can see that
Captain is jammed.
the ship is starting to seemingly come apart at the seams. Like the golem is kind of wobbling under the jaw. It's effectively, Azakar has taken out the central nervous system of this ship, and now it's just kind of flailing and thrashing. It looks like it's on its last legs.
Oh boy.
Seeing this, Rayri, she sort of stands back, and with one hand, she kind of blows into her hand, and you could just see this little corrosive fireball just kind of start to build up.
Mm-hmm.
And she sticks it onto the end of her crossbow. She's gonna do I suppose you can do a corrosive projectile spell, but it's cooler if it's more of a ballistic on an end of
Sure. And Azakar, your bolt beacon with the vulnerability, is that on damage or attack? Vulnerability.
Yeah.
So vulnerability, it makes so if a creature is vulnerable, that means any attacks against it has advantage.
Okay.
Which
yes,
means
the hit roll. Okay.
advantage in this game.
Plus
add an
6.
extra d6 to your roll.
Cool.
So I had my
That's it.
my
And does anyone else want to add anything onto Rayri's attack roll? Any prayer dice or?
I'm just looking.
I don't have enough hope to do anything at the moment.
I need to add a d6. I need to add my d6 on. I see.
That's tasty.
Advantage.
I mean,
I can
go
give
on.
you both prayer dice if you want to aid you in that roll.
What's prayer dice?
The prayer dice are what I can give you. So I've got a 1 and a 4. So I can technically give you 5.
That'd
So
be
that take you up to 16.
16.
I think if I remember rightly, the ship was around 17. If it still has the
Yeah, I think so.
Is there any more bonuses?
I mean,
Oh, do I get?
would it?
Because it's a spellcast roll. Do I get plus? Do I get my plus?
Oh yeah, you haven't added your if you haven't added your ability mod.
Ah,
So I get
Yes.
plus 3 anyway.
Oh okay,
to that.
cool. 19.
Way.
Cool.
Yay.
Roll for damage.
Yams. So yeah, she adds it on and she just blasts it straight at just the center, just going for the heart of the heart. Of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Lulu. And that's 2d6 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11.
11. 11? Well,
11 magic
that's minor damage, which is 1 damage. And Rayri, explain to me what happens.
She's there. She's there. She's got it. God. It's really tall. She's really small.
Yeah.
Just fly. There's this little burning, sort of like sticky bomb that just kind of flies its way up. It just gets its mark, just hits it straight in the middle of its chest.
Internally, because the holes started to peel apart, so it's
right in there.
Yeah.
It's like it's the shot of her life.
Okay. And in which case, as this skeleton crewmate turns to look at this arrow that's just sort of like landed and that then begins to glow brightly, as there is this small explosion that kind of ignites the mana, the innate mana that courses through the ghost ship. You watch as this ship detonates in a fiery inferno as chunks of like rotten wood fly off in all directions, and just like as they threaten to land on the buildings of Cayley Point, they all like disappear into this misty fog like the skeletons you've seen before. But as the top half of this ghost ship is blown to bits, the legs stagger backwards a few steps until one of the feet kind of goes over the precipice of the hill, and as the bottom half of this ship kind of stumbles backwards and begins to roll down the hill, it then and dissipates as well. And as the motes of like necrotic mana rise up into the night sky, the dark clouds recover the moon, the glowing moon, and the night returns to normal.
Very can't quite believe that all.
Well done, Rary. That was great.
I meant to
Shot.
As you stand in like around the ruins of the watchtower of Cayley Point, looking at the traps that never got a chance to set off because the moment the ship touched down, within the space of a few seconds, the four of you tore it apart.
all these random mannequins are there still. Like.
Yeah. As the four of you sort of like take a moment to sit down and like because of this crazy series of events that took place in probably less than a minute, as the town folks start to filter out of their houses and make their way up to you on the top of the hill, the four of you are lauded as heroes of Cayley's Point for destroying the marauding grave ship. And amongst the thrill of the celebration, we will call it there.
Aww,
Yay.
So, there we go. As Beef in the chat has said, yes, when in doubt, hit it. That's
What's our reward?
a
The glow of a job well done.
glow of a job well done. Yes, you'll collect your payment from HQ when you get back to Avonmore. But yeah, that is it. Congratulations, everyone. You've successfully defended Cayley's Point rather more to the point than I was anticipating, but there we go. Yes, congratulations. We are pretty much done here. I believe so. This was just a little Halloween one shot. So
Halloween.
Halloween. So the next time you see us, we will be starting like Tale 3 proper, and we will see who is sat in these gloriously honoured 4 seats here. But yeah, make sure to keep an eye out on the EoE channel to see when that comes out. Yeah, congratulations everyone. I think this deserves some rousing outro music. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button. Comment down below on what your plan would have been that would inevitably be replaced by just smacking the thing. And
all plans go out the window once you start smacking.
yes, absolutely. And to keep up to date with any further Daggerheart live streams, or to see the upcoming finale of the Campaign 2 Elysia Rising campaign, which stars Julia and Nate here, make sure...
And may also include more dressing up.
Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications when we release new content, because we're releasing loads and loads of stuff all the time, and yeah, we wouldn't want you to miss out. Also, I wanted to do a quick shout out for anyone that happens to be watching either live or like after the fact, but 2 of our guests from last time, Georgia and Theo, have a Dracula sequel podcast, the Homeward Foundation, which is perfectly suitable for these Halloweeny times. They're running a Kickstarter at the moment. You should absolutely 100% go check that out. I'll put the link in the descriptions down below.
Yeah, they've got an episode 1 out and it's fantastic.
Yeah, you can listen to it. Go and give some money to it so I can hear the rest of it, because they can't make the rest of it.
You need to know what happens.
Amazing. So yes, thank you everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye. Take this off.